Hello. Welcome back to Let's Talk Ray Bradbury. If you've not subscribed to our channel, please do. Here on Let's Talk Ray Bradbury, we are currently reading through the collection, The Stories of Ray Bradbury. In this collection, there are 100 short stories. We are up to number 58 out of that, and it is The Day It Rained Forever from 1957. The way this always works is I start with a synopsis of the tale and then finish with a few parting thoughts about what I thought it all means. So, in this story, Mr. Turrell, he owns a hotel in the desert. He has two boarders at this time, Mr. Smith and Mr. Fremley. They've been staying there for decades, not paying at all. So basically, they live there. Most of their time is spent sitting around, thinking and talking about the weather as old men do and waiting for it to rain, because they're all tired of the heat in the desert. Mr. Fremley suggests that they all pack up and move to somewhere better, maybe Seattle or maybe Ireland. But Turrell knows that nobody would buy his stinky old hotel in the middle of the desert. But he also says that it's January 29th, so never fear. It rains every January 29th because it's my birthday, and it's rained every January 29th in my life. January 29th comes. There's no rain in the morning, no rain at midday, but Mr. Smith insists that, you know what, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go pack my bags and get the hell out of here. So he does that. He packs his bags. But just as dusk comes, they hear a rattling and a racket on the horizon. They think it's a thunderstorm, but no. It's actually the last gasp of an old car driven by a woman named Miss Blanche Hillgood. Blanche is 71 years old. She's a musician. She was a music teacher. She spent 60 years basically trying to pull herself away from small town life where she was constantly playing music, but nobody was really listening to it. Basically, she was background noise for them. And every time she thought about leaving, they would tell her, you know, you can be a big fish in a small pond here, or you can be a small fish in a huge pond, you know, in Hollywood. But she's finally broken away. She's on her way to California. She's going to do it, but her car breaks down here at this little hotel. They tell her, you know, we can drive you into town in the morning, but for the night, why don't you stay here, have dinner with us? So they have dinner, and she pulls out her harp, and she begins to play, and it makes the sound like water rushing through all the halls and crevices of this dusty old building. And then, as you might expect in the tale, a tale like this, everybody has the revelation that, you know, this place can be filled with music for all time now, or for the rest of our lives. And Blanche decides to stay, and they decide to stay, and they're no longer waiting for the weather. The weather has sort of found them, and they've sort of made the connection through the music. So, as far as the stories that go in this collection, this is a very minor one. It's a lesser story among a lot of greats. But it's not bad. It still has its charms. It's definitely a comedy, but there also is this underlying sense of melancholy that these people are older. They're in the sort of the last phases of their lives, but they've been here for a long time, and lives have sort of been delayed, and dreams have been unrealized, especially in the case of Blanche. And, you know, they're unable to break away from this past, yet, you know, they're trying, you know. Blanche, she said that, you know, every time she tried to get away from town, somebody would sort of coax her back, you know. And now she's finally broken away. And in the case of the old men, you know, Smith's packing his bag. He's going to get out of here. Fremley would talk about getting out of here. And, you know, just when they're about to do it, this woman shows up with the harp, and they decide to stay. So that's interesting in a way, because they don't really break away from the life that they've sort of fallen into, this sort of rainless, hot, miserable desert life. But yet, you know, obviously at their age, it may be a little bit unrealistic for them to have change in their life, but I love the idea that change has found them, and this old single lady is now hanging out with three old men in this desert place. But despite not reaching California, she's found what she was looking for, which is an attentive audience who really is going to listen to what she's doing and be moved by it. And I think that's really what this story is about in the end, which is the sort of the transformative and the moving power of music, the ability it has to transport you to other places and to sort of change your state of mind. And this is how I feel about music all the time. And I've spent most of my life, I have sisters who are in music and they get it. But people who I've encountered, even friends, people who I relate to on other levels, it was always hard to get them to understand, what music does to me. Because I think not all people have this ability, or this, it's not really ability, but it's the luck of being so engrossed by good music. And it's, for a lifetime so far, it's been frustrating, especially when I was younger, to like, I'm discovering this great music and it's really powerful and you can really feel it grab you, and people are listening to this sort of mainstream rubbish, and it's just, I don't, it's not that they like that music. I think they see it that's what's available, and I think they don't realize that music can be more powerful than that, because I find it difficult to believe that on any kind of regular basis that people are truly moved by mainstream music. Yeah, it may make you dance, things like that, occasionally nod your head, but it very rarely has, especially in this day and age. It was a little bit different back in the day when there was more room for different types of music to be heard. But the way that sort of mainstream media and music publishing has a stranglehold, and it sort of keeps a lot of styles down. The internet's helped to loosen that up a little bit, but I think that a lot of people are just unaware that music can send shivers down your spine, and I spent a lot of years when I was younger trying to introduce people to different types of music and sort of scoff at you, and that's just noise, and it's like, no, like this is awesome, this can take you somewhere else. And I think when it comes right down to it, that's what this story is about. It's this woman comes in with her harp, and suddenly the heat of the desert falls away, and they're not going to go to Seattle or anywhere else where it rains more often, but they're going to stay here, and they're going to be able to sort of feel like they've had that sort of relief by music. And I think just in general, I think if everybody in our world took the arts more seriously, and we promoted good arts, especially in music, which has this remarkable power, the world would be a better place. Because I feel like music is it's a pressure valve relief that if you never get that from anywhere, that's why you explode, And I think if we could prevent a lot of explosions, unwanted explosions, if people had knowledge of music that offers you that sort of relief. And in my case, I'm a big fan of extreme experimental sort of underground metal. It's very heavy stuff, very dark stuff, and people will tell you, oh, that's just noise, or that's just all anger. But no, it's the exact opposite. It's a source of relief. It's a source of release. It doesn't compel you to commit violence. It compels you to release that feeling. It's a sort of virtual reality journey, really. It's imagination in your head. You go through that in music, or even on the television screen or the movie screen with a good movie, and it doesn't inspire you to do these things. It inspires you to let it go. And I think we've had another mass shooting here recently, and I can't help but think that if the shooter listening to Cannibal Corpse, they might be less likely to have exploded like that, and to have hurt people, because they would have another release. Very rarely do you find that, there's been occasions where metal musicians went bad, the black metal scene in the early 90s in particular, but on the whole, I find that people who are into this type of music, they get relief from it. And that's what the mosh pit does, for example. It's sort of a controlled chaos, and it's a source of transformation, and a lot of people don't get that. And I think, in as many words, that's sort of what The Day It Rained Forever from 1957 really does. It says that music can take you away from whatever's bothering you. So there you are, guys. We'll be back in a couple of days. We're releasing videos every other day now. Next story in the collection of the stories of Ray Bradbury will be A Medicine for Melancholy from 1959. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to send a few bucks by clicking the thanks button. Maybe join this channel, support us, what we're doing here. And my goal with Let's Talk Ray Bradbury is to help promote his works, and I'm gonna, in the long run, I hope to review every single short story that he ever published, which is somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 to 600. It's not clear, but we're gonna do that here and make sure that Bradbury's work lives forever, and I'm gonna do my small part to help do that. So you can do that small part by promoting these videos for me. So thank you, and see you later. Enjoy your weekend.